The Alpha King's Missing Mate, a story of dark love and forbidden romance. The kingdom of Varenmore was born from shadows and old magic. The people believed that their land was protected by ancient spirits who lived inside mountains, forests, and black rivers that never froze even in winter. Tall stone castles stood like dark guardians above the kingdom, and black banners with silver wolf symbols moved slowly in cold winds. But peace was only a story told to children, because Varenmore was ruled by power, fear, and destiny. And at the center of this destiny stood King Cale Draventhorn, the Alpha King. Cale was known across kingdoms as a ruler of iron will. His presence was enough to silence war councils. His voice could command armies of wolf warriors. His golden eyes were said to carry the judgment of the moon itself. But inside the king's heart there was only silence. 3 years ago his life had changed forever. 3 years ago his mate had disappeared. Her name was Leora. The night Leora vanished was called the Night of Broken Moons. It happened during the Blood Moon Festival. The palace gardens were filled with light, music, and celebration. Wolves in human form danced with nobles. Magic lanterns floated above like stars that had fallen from the sky. Cale remembered that night too clearly. He remembered Leora standing beside him, wearing a silver-blue gown that moved like water under moonlight. Her black hair was tied with small white flowers. She was smiling, but there was sadness inside her eyes that Cale never fully understood. "You are not enjoying the festival," Cale had said quietly. Leora had looked at him gently. "I am enjoying being here with you," she said. "That is enough." Cale wanted to believe her. But Leora was a woman who carried secrets inside her heart like hidden storms. She was not born in Varenmore. She had arrived as a refugee from a kingdom destroyed by dark magic wars. And Cale had chosen her as his mate, not by politics, not by alliances, but because the moon bond between them had awakened the moment they first touched hands. Mate bonds were sacred and dangerous. They created emotional and magical connections deeper than love itself. If one mate died, the other would feel the pain like a slow burning fire inside their chest. If one mate was far away, the other would feel loneliness like endless winter. Cale had felt that loneliness for 3 years. The night Leora disappeared, darkness had fallen on the festival without warning. The sky turned purple-black. Crows flew in circles above the palace towers. Then the sorcerers came. They were called the Coven of Ashen Thorns, a group of rogue magic users who believed royal bloodlines should be destroyed to break old magical hierarchies. They attacked without warning. Magic explosions shattered palace walls. Wolves howled in pain as dark spells turned protective magic into poisonous smoke. Cale fought like a storm released from chains. But then he saw Leora standing alone in the palace courtyard. She was glowing faintly with soft silver magic. Cale remembered running toward her. "Stay behind me," he had shouted, but Leora had shaken her head. Instead, she raised her hands and protective magic spread outward like a shield of light. Cale had never seen her use magic before. He had never asked where her power came from. That was his greatest regret. Because moments later, the ground cracked open beneath them. Dark hands made of shadow magic reached upward, grabbing Leora. She turned back to Cale. Her voice was shaking but determined. "If I stay, they will destroy you," she said. "If I leave, you may survive." Leora, Cale had tried to reach her, but the shadows pulled her into darkness. Then the night became silent. Now, 3 years later, Cale stood on the highest balcony of Varenmore Palace. Winter winds moved through his black royal coat. His kingdom believed their king was emotionless. They were wrong. Cale felt everything too deeply, especially her absence. Sometimes he dreamed of Leora standing in silver moonlight, calling his name without speaking. Other nights, he felt her sadness like a wound in his chest. And sometimes, terrifyingly, he felt nothing at all. Those were the nights he feared she was dying. "Your Majesty!" Cale did not turn immediately. He already knew the voice. General Rossin, his most trusted warrior, stood behind him. "There is news from the northern wastes," Rossin said carefully. "A small village of cursed humans claims they saw a woman matching Queen Leora's description." Cale's breathing slowed. The northern wastes were dangerous. That land was where magic criminals, cursed beings, and traitors were banished. Eternal winter storms covered the land. No kingdom officially ruled there. "She is alive," Cale said quietly. Rossin did not answer. But Cale could feel hope burning inside his chest like dangerous fire. Hope was dangerous for kings, because hope made them weak. But Kale was not ready to stop hoping. That night, Kale went alone to the royal underground chamber. The chamber was sealed with ancient royal magic. Inside stood a throne made of black obsidian stone, the throne of mate bonds. Royal wolves used this throne to strengthen emotional and magical connections with their mates. Kale placed his hand on the stone throne and closed his eyes. "Leora," he whispered. "If you are alive, I am coming." The magic inside the throne responded faintly, like a heartbeat in darkness, but it was weak, too weak, as if something was blocking the bond, or as if Leora was trying to hide from him. Far away in the northern wastes, Leora woke up screaming. She was inside a stone tower surrounded by endless snow storms. Silver chains of magical light were wrapped gently but firmly around her wrists. They did not hurt her physically. Instead, they prevented her from using her magic freely. She slowly sat up. Her head hurt. Her memories were broken pieces, and then she saw him, Prince Verk. He was standing near the window watching the storm. "You are awake," Verk said calmly. Leora did not trust his calm voice. "Why am I here?" she asked. "Because you are special," Verk said. "You carry the blood of the last Night Queen. Your magic can control even alpha wolves if fully awakened." Leora felt cold fear inside her chest. "I am not a weapon." "No," Verk said softly. "You are destiny." Leora turned away from him. She remembered Kale, his voice. His warmth, the way he used to place his forehead against hers during quiet nights and tell her that kings could still be gentle with those they loved. She pressed her hand against her chest. She could still feel the mate bond. Kale was alive, and he was searching for her. Which meant danger was coming, because the Coven had not captured her to kill her. They had captured her to control her. That night, Verk visited her again. "You left your king to protect him," he said. "Yes," Leora said. "But you know the truth," Verk continued. "If Kale finds you, the curse inside your blood will awaken completely. You will become what the Coven wants." Leora did not speak, because deep inside she was afraid he was right. Her magic was not light magic. It was domination magic. Powerful magic that could control emotions, minds, and supernatural creatures bound by blood promises, including Kale, and that terrified her, because she loved him too much to become his enemy. That night, Leora stood on the tower balcony alone. Snow fell around her like white ash. She closed her eyes and whispered into the wind, "Kale, do not come for me." But far away in Varenmoor Palace, Kale suddenly felt a sharp emotional pull through the mate bond. Pain, fear, love, all at once. She was alive. And she was suffering. Kale opened his eyes slowly. His golden wolf eyes shone with dangerous determination. "Then I will come faster," he whispered to the darkness, because kings could not be stopped when they were hunting for their missing hearts. And somewhere in the northern wastes, dark magic began to awaken inside Leora's blood, responding to the same moonlight that called to Kale across kingdoms. The blood moon was rising again. And with it, old curses were starting to wake up. The northern wastes were called the land of forgotten souls. No kingdom claimed them. No king ruled them. Only cold wind, endless snow, and old magic lived there. The land was covered with black stone mountains that looked like sleeping giants under gray skies. Villages in the northern wastes were small and hidden between frozen forests. The people who lived there were usually refugees, cursed souls, or those who wanted to disappear from the world. And inside one of those hidden villages, Leora was trapped. 3 years had changed her. Leora was no longer the soft woman who once stood beside King Kale in royal gardens. Now she moved quietly, like someone who had learned to survive in danger. Her black hair was longer. Her eyes were darker, filled with sadness and secret strength. She still felt the mate bond. Every night she felt Kale's emotions like distant thunder inside her chest. Sometimes she felt his loneliness. Sometimes she felt his anger. And sometimes she felt his love so strongly that it made her want to cry. But she knew she could not go back to him, not yet. Leora lived inside a tall stone tower controlled by the Coven of Ashen Thorns. Prince Verk visited her often. He was not cruel to her. That was the dangerous part. He spoke politely. He brought her warm food and winter herbs to help her sleep. He never forced her to do anything. But his kindness was like a cage made of gold. "You are thinking about him again," Verk said one evening. Leora was standing near the tower window, watching snow fall. "Yes," she said softly. Verk walked closer but kept distance between them. "You still love your king," he said. "Yes." Verk sighed slowly. You know why we brought you here, Leora? Your magic is ancient. You are the last descendant of the Queen of Nightmares. Your blood can control royal wolves if fully awakened. I am not a weapon, Leora said quietly. Verk looked at her carefully. No, he said, you are something stronger. You are destiny itself. Leora did not like that word. Destiny sounded like chains. That night, Leora had another dream. She was standing inside a dark forest. Moonlight shone through broken tree branches. In front of her stood Kale. He looked exactly like she remembered, tall, powerful, eyes glowing gold like burning stars, but he was not smiling. You left me, Kale said in the dream. I left to save you, Leora replied. You think I want to live without you? Kale asked. Leora woke up crying. Meanwhile, far away in Varenmore, Kale was preparing to leave his kingdom. General Rossin entered the throne hall. You cannot go alone, your majesty, Rossin said. I will go alone, Kale replied. You are the king, Rossin said. If you die in the wastes, the kingdom will fall into chaos. Kale turned slowly. His golden eyes were sharp and cold. I am not going there as king, Kale said. I am going there as a wolf looking for his mate. Rossin did not argue further. Because he knew Kale would not stop. Kings could control armies, but mates could control hearts. The journey to the northern wastes was dangerous. Kale traveled through mountains and cursed forests. He avoided royal banners and used hidden roads. He did not want war. He wanted Leora back, but deep inside his heart, fear was growing. What if she did not want to return? What if she had changed? What if she had been broken by the coven? Those thoughts hurt more than any physical wound. Back in the tower, something was changing inside Leora. The coven elders visited her. They were old magic users with white eyes and slow voices. You must begin training your power, one elder said. No, Leora said. You carry royal nightmare blood, the elder said. If you do not control it, it will control you. I will not hurt him, Leora said firmly. The elders exchanged looks. You already are hurting him, one said. Leora felt pain inside her chest, because she knew they were right. The bond between her and Kale was not only emotional, it was magical. Every time she felt fear, Kale felt it too. Every time she suffered, he suffered somewhere far away. That was the curse of mate bonds. Love could become shared suffering. The coven had another plan. They did not want Leora to escape. They wanted Kale to find her. Because an alpha king driven by love and desperation was easier to control. They planned to capture Kale and force him into magical submission using Leora's bloodline magic. But Leora was slowly realizing their plan, and she was terrified because she did not know how to stop it. One night, Leora decided to escape. She waited until the tower guards changed shifts. She used small fragments of her magic to break the silver chains around her wrists. The magic hurt. It felt like burning ice inside her veins, but she kept moving. She reached the tower exit. Snowstorm winds were strong outside. The sky was dark. For the first time in 3 years, she felt freedom calling her, but then she heard Verk's voice behind her. You are leaving? He asked. Leora turned slowly. Yes. Where will you go? He asked. Home, she said. Verk looked sad. You know I cannot allow that. Leora's heart beat faster. Then you will have to stop me. Verk did not attack her. Instead, he spoke quietly. If you return to Kale, the coven will activate your curse. You may lose control. You may destroy him without meaning to. I would rather risk that than live without loving him, Leora said. Those words hurt Verk more than any spell could. Meanwhile, Kale was close. He could feel it. The mate bond was pulling him forward like a living compass. Pain, hope, fear, love, all of it was stronger than ever. He crossed frozen rivers and climbed dark mountains until he reached a small, hidden village. That was when he felt her. She was close, very close. Kale's wolf instincts were almost impossible to control. He followed the emotional pull until he saw her, standing alone outside the tower in the middle of the snowstorm. Leora saw him at the same moment. They both stopped moving. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The wind howled around them like old spirits watching a reunion that should not happen. Then Kale spoke. You are alive. Leora felt tears in her eyes. Yes, you are safe. I am still breathing, she said softly. That is all I can promise. Kale stepped closer. I searched for you every day, he said. I left to protect you, Leora replied. You should have trusted me to fight beside you, Kale said quietly. Leora's voice shook. I was afraid I would become something you could not love. Kale reached out slowly and touched her face. I have loved you since the first moon we shared, he said. Even if you became darkness itself, I would still love you. That moment felt like peace. But then the tower doors exploded open behind them. Coven magic soldiers appeared. Verk stood at the entrance. "You should have known this was coming," Verk said sadly. "The Coven will not allow this reunion." Kale moved in front of Leora protectively, and for the first time in 3 years he spoke like a king ready for war. "If you want her," Kale said, "you will have to kill me first." Leora felt her cursed magic beginning to wake inside her blood. The blood moon was rising again in the sky, and this time she was afraid she might not be able to control what would happen next. Because love and power were beginning to collide inside her heart, and something darker than destiny was waking up inside the mate bond. The blood moon rose slowly above the northern wastes. It was large and red, like a watching eye in the dark sky. The villagers believed blood moons were signs of old magic awakening. Some said it was good luck. Others believed it was a warning. For Leora, it was fear, because she could feel her cursed blood responding to the moonlight. Kale stood between Leora and the Coven soldiers. His wolf instincts were roaring inside him. His golden eyes were glowing brighter than usual. The mate bond between him and Leora was stronger now because of their closeness. He had finally found her, but now he had to protect her, even if it meant fighting magic itself. Prince Verk stood at the entrance of the tower courtyard. He did not look angry. Instead, he looked sad. "You should have stayed hidden," Verk said. "I will never stay hidden from him," Leora replied. Kale did not speak. He only watched the enemies carefully. Coven soldiers were wearing dark armor covered with rune symbols. They carried magical weapons that could break wolf magic. Verk raised his hand. "Capture the queen," he ordered. The soldiers attacked. Kale moved like lightning. Wolf warriors were known for speed and strength. Kale blocked magical attacks using ancient royal defense magic passed down through his bloodline. Light and dark magic exploded around them. Snow melted where magic fire touched the ground. But Kale was not fighting to win. He was fighting to protect Leora. Leora felt something inside her waking up. The Coven had told her she was born from the bloodline of the Queen of Nightmares. Now she understood what that meant. Her magic was not gentle. It was emotional domination magic. She could control emotions, fear, and even supernatural instincts. But using it was dangerous, because it could change her personality slowly. Turn love into possession, turn protection into destruction. "Kale," Leora shouted. He turned toward her. "I cannot fight them forever," she said. Kale walked toward her while fighting two soldiers at the same time. "Then we leave," he said. "You cannot leave Varenmore," Verk said calmly. Kale turned toward him. "I am not leaving as a king," Kale said. "I am leaving as a wolf who refuses to lose his mate again." Then Verk did something unexpected. He did not attack. Instead, he spoke quietly. "You both think love is stronger than destiny," Verk said, "but you are wrong." He raised his hand. Dark magic symbols appeared in the air. The symbols glowed red. "The Coven will awaken her curse tonight," Verk said, "whether she wants it or not." Leora felt fear growing inside her chest, because she knew he was telling the truth. Suddenly, magic chains exploded from the ground. They were made of dark moon energy. They wrapped around Leora's ankles and wrists. She screamed as pain shot through her body. Kale roared in anger. He tried to reach her, but more magic soldiers surrounded him. He fought violently now, not like a king, like a wolf protecting his heart. Leora fell to her knees. The blood moon light touched her skin, and then memories that were not hers began to appear in her mind. She saw the original Night Queen. A woman with black crown magic and eyes like endless night. The Night Queen spoke inside Leora's mind. "You are my descendant. You were born to rule fear. Love is weakness." Leora shook her head. "No," she whispered. Kale heard her whisper through the mate bond. He felt her fear. And that fear turned into rage inside him. His wolf form began to show slightly. Claws appeared on his hands. His movements became faster and more violent. Royal wolves had two forms of power: human royal magic and primal wolf power. Kale was beginning to lose control of his primal instincts because his mate was in danger. Verk watched carefully. "You see," he said softly, "mate bonds are beautiful, but they are also curses." He walked closer to Leora. "You were never meant to live peacefully with him," Verk said. "You were meant to be the weapon that ends wolf royalty." "I will not become that," Leora said weakly. "You do not have a choice," Verk said. Then he activated the final spell. Dark magic flooded into Leora's body. Pain spread through her veins like fire. Her eyes turned darker. The mate bond between her and Kale suddenly became stronger but also unstable. Kale suddenly felt her emotions becoming chaotic inside his chest. Love, fear, anger, dark power awakening. It was overwhelming. Leora, Kale shouted. She looked at him. Her eyes were now glowing dark silver. I am losing control, she said. You are not losing anything, Kale said. Fight it, fight for us. Leora cried silently. I am scared I will hurt you. You will not, Kale said firmly. I trust you more than destiny. Those words became like healing magic inside her heart. Leora remembered something Kale once told her. Kings were not made by power, they were made by choices. She chose love, she chose Kale, and then she did something dangerous. She accepted the curse instead of resisting it. Dark magic exploded outward from her body. The magic did not attack Kale. Instead, it attacked the Coven's soldiers. They were pushed back violently by emotional magic waves. Verk looked shocked. She is controlling the curse, he said quietly. Kale was also shocked, but he was proud because Leora was not becoming darkness. She was learning to control it. The battle ended quickly. Coven soldiers retreated. Verk did not fight again. He only looked at Leora with sadness. You are stronger than we thought, he said. Then he disappeared into the snowstorm. Kale ran toward Leora. He caught her before she fell. Her body was weak from using so much magic. You saved me, Kale said quietly. I saved us, she replied. Kale pressed his forehead gently against hers. The mate bond between them felt calm now. Safe, but not completely healed, because they both knew the Coven would return. That night, Kale and Leora stayed inside a small, safe village house. Firelight burned softly inside the room. Leora was resting beside Kale. You should return to Varenmore, she said softly. No, Kale said. You are still a king. And you are still my queen, Kale said. Leora smiled weakly, but there was still fear inside her heart because she knew something Kale did not. The Coven had not used their strongest spell yet. They were waiting for something worse. Far away in an underground Coven temple, the elders were gathering. We failed, one elder said. No, another said. She is stronger than expected. The leader of the Coven smiled slowly. Then we will not break her, he said. We will break the king instead. That night, Leora woke up suddenly because she felt something terrible through the mate bond. Kale was in pain. Far away in the darkness outside the village, shadows were moving. And Leora realized with horror that the Coven had found another way to control destiny. They were coming for Kale. And this time they were not coming for war. They were coming for his heart. The night was quiet, too quiet. The people of the northern wastes believed silence before a storm was the worst kind of warning. Wind stopped. Snow fell slowly, like white feathers drifting from a broken sky. But inside Leora's heart, fear was screaming. Because through the mate bond, she could feel Kale's pain. Kale was not inside the village house. When Leora woke up, she found an empty bed beside her. The fire in the fireplace was almost dying. Cold air moved through the wooden windows. She stood up slowly. Her legs were still weak from using too much cursed magic the night before. Kale, she whispered, no answer. Then she felt it. Pain, sharp, emotional pain through the mate bond, not physical pain, something worse, fear. Outside the village, Kale was walking alone through the snowstorm. Dark shadows followed him quietly. They were not attacking him yet. They were hunting him slowly, like predators enjoying fear before killing prey. Kale knew this was the Coven's new strategy. They had learned they could not defeat Leora directly, so they were attacking Kale's emotional connection to her. Mate bonds were powerful, but they were also weaknesses. Suddenly, voices echoed around him. You should have stayed inside your kingdom, King Kale. Kale stopped walking. He did not turn around immediately. Show yourselves, Kale said coldly. Shadow magic began forming behind him. Several Coven sorcerers appeared wearing dark cloaks. At the center of them stood the Coven leader. He was an old man with white eyes and long silver hair. You love your mate too much, the leader said. Love is not weakness, Kale replied. The old man smiled slowly. We will see. Back in the village house, Leora felt Kale's emotional anger through the bond. He was about to fight. Alone, Leora knew she had to reach him. She grabbed her coat and stepped outside into the snowstorm. The wind was strong. Snow stung her face, but she kept walking toward the emotional pull inside her heart, toward Kale. The battle began quickly. Kale fought with wolf royal magic. Golden energy surrounded his fists as he attacked Coven soldiers, but there were too many of them. The Coven was not trying to kill him. They were trying to exhaust him, emotionally and physically, because they wanted him alive. They wanted to break him slowly. You cannot protect her forever, the coven leader said. Kale attacked him directly. You will not touch her, Kale growled. The leader raised his hand. Dark magic chains appeared and wrapped around Kale's body. Kale struggled violently. But the magic was designed to drain royal wolf energy. His movements slowed. His breathing became heavier. And then he felt Leora. She was coming. He could feel her fear mixed with determination. Leora finally reached the battlefield. She saw Kale trapped in dark magic chains. Her heart broke. No, she shouted. Kale looked at her. Stay back, he shouted, but Leora was already walking forward. Snow was falling around her like stars falling from broken skies. Her cursed magic began awakening automatically. Because she was feeling strong emotional distress. Mate protection instinct was activating inside her bloodline magic. The coven leader smiled. Good, he said. Let her power awaken. Dark runes on the ground began glowing red. The final ritual was starting. Leora, Kale said quietly through the bond. I am here, she said. You do not have to save me, he said. Yes, I do, she replied softly, because she was not saving him only. She was saving their future, their love, their kingdom. Leora raised her hands. She did something dangerous. Instead of resisting her cursed magic, she embraced it completely. Dark silver energy exploded from her body. The snowstorm stopped moving for a moment. Even the wind became silent. Because ancient bloodline magic was awakening fully for the first time in centuries. The Night Queen's voice appeared inside her mind again. Rule with fear, control with power, destroy your enemies. But Leora ignored the voice. She chose something else. Love, protection, freedom. Her magic changed shape. Instead of dark destruction magic, it became protective emotional magic. The dark magic chains holding Kale began breaking slowly. Kale fell to his knees because the draining spell had weakened him badly. Leora ran to him. She held his face in her hands. You came, Kale said weakly. I will always come for you, she said. The coven leader looked shocked. She is rewriting the curse, he said. Yes, Leora said firmly. I am not your weapon. Then she released a wave of magic energy. The magic did not attack. It pushed. Pushed the coven's soldiers back without harming them, because Leora did not want to become what they wanted her to become. The coven leader realized they were losing control. He activated one final spell, a dangerous one, a mate bond corruption spell. Black magic arrows of energy shot toward Kale. Leora saw it. Her body moved automatically. She jumped in front of Kale. The magic struck her directly. Kale screamed her name. Leora felt intense pain inside her chest. The corruption magic was trying to turn her love into obsession, into fear, into darkness. She fell to the ground. Kale caught her immediately. Stay with me, Kale said desperately. I am here, she whispered, but her eyes were getting darker. The blood moon above them suddenly turned brighter. Ancient magic laws were reacting to emotional conflict. Mate bond magic was fighting curse magic. Inside Leora's soul, two forces were fighting, love and darkness. Kale did something no one expected. He started singing softly. It was an old royal wolf protection song, a song wolves used to calm mates during magical battles. His voice was low and steady. You are my home, he whispered. You are my strength, she replied weakly. The mate bond reacted. Golden light and silver light mixed together. The curse inside Leora's body began breaking, slowly, painfully, but successfully. The coven leader realized he had lost. He and his soldiers retreated into the snowstorm. The battlefield became silent. Only Kale and Leora remained. Kale carried Leora back to the village house. She was exhausted but alive. That night they sat together beside the fire. You saved me again, Kale said quietly. We saved each other, Leora said. Kale held her hand. Will the coven return? He asked. Yes, Leora said honestly, but now I am stronger. Outside, the blood moon slowly faded, but ancient magic was still moving in the world, because their love had changed something bigger than themselves. They had broken part of the curse, but not all of it. Far away in the darkness of the coven temple, the leader was speaking to someone unseen. The king and his mate are stronger than expected, he said. A dark voice answered from shadows. Then we will prepare the final war. Back in the village, Leora looked at Kale. I am scared, she said. I am too, Kale admitted, but he smiled gently. Fear is not stronger than love. They held each other under the quiet winter night, not as king and queen, not as weapon and curse, but as two souls who had chosen each other against destiny itself.